How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you how to make James Hype Waterfalls. James Hype is easily one of the biggest DJs in the world. You might know him for his track Give Me a Feeling, Ferrari, and of course one of his most recent releases, which is a Speed Garage banger, Waterfalls. Just to let you know, I'm running a competition this month with a cash prize. The competition is who can make the best tracks using Speed Garage Volume 3 Serum Preset Pack and Speed Garage Volume 4 Drums Pack. You can use a sound from either of these packs. It hasn't got to be both, it can be either or. The competition deadline is the 31st of December and it has a cash prize. First place gets £200, second place gets £70, and third place gets £30. As I said in the last video, I did a competition last year and I only got like 5 entries, so your chances to win are really high, as obviously there's 3 different prizes. Great, so to enter your track, all you've got to do is send me a SoundCloud link or just the MP3. I prefer a SoundCloud link. Send it to max.productionhut@gmail.com or send it to my Instagram, which is maxking.mp3. Great, guys, let's continue with the video. Here is my remake and what you all have made by the end of the video.
Hold tight, it's about time. We go unwind, let it all flow and give me waterfalls. Where we go, get in that zone, let it all flow and give me waterfalls.
Let's get straight into it and firstly start with the bass. Great, so this bass is not for the faint-hearted. It's actually made of 3 different layers. So there's this first layer, which is sort of the power. The second layer, which is sort of the mid-range. And then lastly, this noise layer. That just helps to fill out the top end frequencies. Great, let's start with the first layer. Before we get onto that, let's have a look at the MIDI so you can follow along easier. So it's pretty simple, it's just made of 5 notes. So we've got F sharp, A, E, F sharp, and B. That's literally it. Super simple. So the sound, of course, is made in Serum 2. It is actually a preset for my Speed Garage Volume 3 Serum Preset Pack. So this pack has over 70 presets, making it easy for you to make top Speed Garage like your favorite Speed Garage producers. It covers tracks from artists such as Silver Bumper, Soul Mash Transit System, John Summit, and of course, who we're covering today, James Hype. The link for that pack is in the description. Definitely check it out. Great, so firstly, click Menu, Initiate the preset. This is going to take it to sort of square one, and turn on Oscillator A, pitch it down an octave, and select Analog, Basic Shapes. Then move it to position 2 for a saw wave. Detune by 11, turn on Oscillator B, again -1 octave, +7 on the semitones, really important, and detune it +7. And of course, Analog, Basic Shapes, saw wave. It's gonna sound like this. Turn on Oscillator C, saw wave again, Basic Shapes, pitch it down by 2 octaves. This we're using to sort of get that low bass, and then up the unison to 4, and bring the detune to 0.17. Without that, it's a bit flat with it. Wider and thicker. Now turn on the filter, make sure A and B are both selected. Bit of drive, bit of fat, bit of res, and we've gone for an MG Low 12. Also, filter 2's on, and this is just covering C. Turn that off. Just making sure this is keeping the sort of low end. Now we come over to the effects, we turn on the chorus, mix at 36%. A little bit of width, not too much. EQ, boost in anything above 6,300 Hertz, just 2.1, so keep it minimal, but without it. Just adds a little bit more crispiness. Then we've got a tube distortion, loads of drive, 43% on the mix. Without it. It helps to thicken it up a little bit. It's quite subtle. All these effects are quite subtle. Like you could take them off, not hear much of a difference. But it just helps to add the last sort of polishing touches. Oh, and one last thing I forgot is this white noise. So I've gone for an AC hum. And without that, it helps to add a little bit of like filler in the top end to make it sort of sit better in the mix. Great, now on to the second layer. This layer is a little bit weird. Sort of like really detuned, but it helps to play with this and fill out the frequencies, because on its own, if I play the track without it, like it's fat, but then this helps to add a bit more like intensity. So let's have a look at how this is made. So a lot more simple. Just got in the sub, pitch down -2, saw wave, and in Oscillator B, pitch down -1, again, Analog, Basic Shapes, saw wave, +7, and detune -19. But then the trick with this, to get more width, is to add this unison. We detune to 0.08. So in terms of the effects, firstly, hyper dimension. Turn the dimension all the way off, bring up the hyper to 29%. About it. It's obviously way more straight down the middle. This adds a lot more width. Distortion, diode 2, drive, mix, about 50% each. And then Want a little bit more crispiness, so we're boosting about 8,000 hertz. Sounding fat. Right, lastly, just to top it all off, we've just got this noise layer. Super simple. Menu, initiate preset, pink, noise, put the level all the way up. And in terms of the effects, we've added a bit of chorus, EQ taking out the low end because you don't really need all that horrible like low noise. You just want the high end to give it crispiness. And then of course, more distortion. And all together. Obviously, you can play around and make it your own, so you could maybe take out some of the top end. Or bring it up. Like automate it so it starts low. One last thing, I've grouped them all and I've added a side chain. So this is kickstart, which is a side chain. Obviously you use compression to side chain, like side chain compression, but this is basically like an LFO that ducks it for you. So without it, it's gonna sound retarded. So you've got to put that all the way to 100. And it almost creates like the rhythm. It's obviously a straight note, right? But adding that sort of helps to add a nice bit of rhythm and also allows your kick to punch through the mix. Otherwise, it's going to completely wash out your track. Terrible. So yeah, obviously bring that up to 100. So that is the bass. Great, next we have the drums. Yeah, these drums are actually really nice. They're really heavy and percussive. Run you through them now. So of course, we start with a kick. Really nice thumpy sort of 909 kick. All these drums are from my Speed Garage Volume 4 drums pack. You can get that from the link in the description. The pack's full of loads of one-shots, loops, basically everything you need to be making Speed Garage like the pros. So yeah, definitely check that out. Of course, so first we've got this kick. Really thumpy kick, just playing on every beat, straight forward to the floor. Then we got this clap on every second beat. So obviously the kick would be here, and we're just removing that off the kick. It's on every second beat. Standard sort of house pattern. Then we got this on the offbeat, the open hat. Another one. Then we got this top loop. So I solo this. It's got a really cool like percussive sort of reverb in there. And then I've layered that with another top loop. This one's a bit more scratchy. But it's got a lot more going on in the high end, like there's lots of shakers and stuff. So yeah, when they're together with the rest of the drums, it's a real nice sort of groove. And yeah, this top loop also has lots of like rim shots, which helps give that sort of garage swing. But yeah, as I said, these are from that Speed Garage Volume 4 pack. So yeah, that is the drums, pretty simple. You basically just got to layer lots of different loops and sort of one shots, you know, to get sort of nice drums that match your track. You also need a lot of high end. Some people make the mistake, which I've heard in a few tracks recently, where there's not enough going on in the top end, so it doesn't carry through the bass. So obviously this is such a heavy bass, especially with this like noise layer. It's covering the frequencies all the way from the bottom up to the top end in order for the hats to sort of punch through and give the energy, because the energy from a track comes from the hi-hats. So you really need to sort of layer it. So obviously we've got hats in this, and then I've added these two extras because you really want it to punch through the mix and give you that energy. Cool. Lastly, we just have this sort of pre-build effects roll. So it's just built off this Ragga shotgun. This is from that same drums pack. But yeah, the original sounds like this. And that's fine in itself. But obviously with his one, he did it a lot quicker. So I basically just chopped that up into shorter segments. And I added a little reverb, maybe a little bit too much reverb. Then we have this, just a little FX riser. Helps to smooth it out, you know. But you could also get even more creative with it, maybe add some like bleeps and stuff like that. So you could add something like this. Or like a dub siren. Maybe cut it there. I also really like these crowd noises. So you can just chuck these in, and it's almost like, you know when they put in like canned laughter to like Friends and like sitcoms like that? Like it's not actually that funny, but they put in the canned laughter and it makes it seem like it's funny. The way I look at the crowd noise, it makes it sound like everyone's going like, fucking, let's have it, if that makes any sense. So no crowd noise. So it doesn't work in every track. You can sort of elevate it with a bit of crowd noise. And it just makes it seem like everyone's sort of like loving it, if that makes sense. I don't know, I've been trying to put it in a few tracks. Great guys, thank you very much for watching. I'll be back in the normal studio space for next week. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. Please leave a comment down below and I will see you next week. Cheers.